welcome to another episode of the NEL Show. We're going to have a great time today, as we always do. If you're watching this live, I hope you brought your breakfast. If you're watching the replay, I hope you're having a good time watching this. Today's episode is sponsored by Enjoying Her. Enjoying Her is a book I wrote in 2019. It says an antidote for comparison and competition. Now, the world we live in is a world that fuels comparison and competition. Two female artists or two female or even three would be in the same industry, minding their business and doing their work, and then they'll just see things like, or things will just appear on social media like who wore it better, who did it better, who is smiling better, and so on and so forth. And usually those things, those conversations could be used as a tool to turn these women against each other. But that is only possible when a woman is not rooted in her identity. And that is one of the things that Enjoying Her is set to do, to help us women understand that life is beyond the physical looks. It really is beyond the physical looks, but it's more about who we are, where we are coming from, our understanding of that, and that now goes on to show forth in the work that we do. So you can find this on sagenel.com or SAG_NEL, that is sage_nel. On Instagram, you can click the link in my bio or send a WhatsApp message to +234-808-777-6755 to get your copy. It is really an antidote for comparison and competition, and it is one that we definitely need in our world right now, because apart from the wave of we need more collaboration, we actually need more women grounded in their identity so that they can thrive as an individual. It is when you thrive as an individual that you can make a wholesome team. Thank you so much, and I trust that you're going to get your copy and the copy for your friends as well. This is what the back looks like. You can also get the e-copy. All right, so today we are going live. We're already live, but we're going live with a very important topic: public perception and persona versus private effectiveness. What is the balance? And I'm going to have my friends just having this very candid conversation on what we can do moving forward. One of my friends is already here. Okay. Dr. Anita is here.
Thank you so much, Anita, for choosing to do this. I'm so happy to see you here.
Hello, everybody.
And your red looks good. Your red looks good.
Thank you. I try a little bit. How are you?
I'm fine. Just enjoying it. I'm feeling week, and it is a great Saturday morning at the time we're recording this, so I'm grateful. Let me send. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I will add that to this conversation.
Excited. Hi, Joel. I see you.
An examination. So she would join us, but she may not stay for so long. Good morning, Omono. Thank you for joining us again. I am excited. I don't take it at all for granted.
Thank you, Anita. Dr. Anita, thank you.
Woman of God, I like this.
We are having the ministry.
No, I don't know. not Omono. You check what she has on that you'll be blown away. Okay, so a brief profile, just reading. How would I say her?
Yeah.
Okay, just okay. So just briefly, this is the abridged version of their profiles. Of course, you can go to see the extensive version. We already shared that with the publicity material. Of course, who is Omono? Ajani is a wife, mom, and someone who is helped by God. Her passion drives her to encourage other women to live a fulfilled and godly life rooted in the love of God. She has found strength through hardship and hurdles by total dependence on God, and she's willing to use her story to uplift others. And there's so much more about Omono, and even about anybody whose profile we read out. So you can follow at Omono Ajani to learn more, and of course check the profile resources that we share. Dr. Anita is a doctor of physical therapy and a specialist in digital health. She's passionate about people, access to quality healthcare business, and using her gifts to glorify God. She's an encourager at heart and popularly called the friendly encourager. She's learning every day in this journey called life, and she's really grateful for her identity in Christ. And you can actually follow Anita at the friendly encourager. I believe that is the handle to actually link up with Anita and even learn more about her. Of course, like I just said, we are more than our profile, so there's so much more you can learn. Vera is a multi-talented coach. Okay, she's not on the live yet. Social entrepreneur, author, and speaker. She's the lead coach at Vera Alex coaching company, through which she has helped individuals to discover purpose in their painful experience after healing. She's popularly known as Coach V. Vera uses her personal story to deliver a message that provides mental, emotional, and spiritual wholeness for students, educators, parents, individuals towards achieving the goals of good health and well-being in the sustainable development goals of the United Nations. She wields a strong presence, and her message reverberates with the same focus and intensity across all events and platforms. You can learn more about Vera on Instagram at Vera Alex. So we will just dive right into it because that is why we are here. I hope we are here with our breakfast today. That's for those watching, not for us talking. Public perception and persona versus private public effectiveness. What is the balance? One of the reasons why I thought that it was important, I did not even know that we'll be talking about this topic before when I reached out. At the time when I reached out, actually, no. But one of the things, the reasons why I got the nudge to talk about this is because this is something that we see nowadays. So when you put all the trends together and you put all the drama and, oh well, some of it, the drama of social media and just everything, I've been able to, based on my own private investigation and observation, I've been able to realize that what has been happening, or what the world is, a lot of people in the world, not everybody, tilting towards, is this need for putting out a public perception. For whatever reason, people say they do it for money, people say you gain respect and honor, people say whatever, like there's different reasons if you interview people why they work so hard on their public perception. But then when you come to the private life of some people, again, not everybody, but unfortunately, it's still a lot of people that we need to cut down on, which is why we're having this conversation. You see that the private life is not as sound, it's not as solid. I've got an example of a place where some friends work, and the person, the CEO in that organization, is quite out there, has received awards, continues to receive applause and standing ovation publicly. But these people in there are just like, this person is maybe, I don't want to, close to a tyrant or a tyrant in that sense. And there's just a lot of those stories out there. So, but the world will not, once you are a well, anyways, whatever, a CEO of this or that or whatever, and you've done great things, which this person has done, like in terms of the public eye, or what we say the metrics of how the world calculates greatness, which is more of what you put externally than what you are on the inside. You can be applauded and awarded. So the first question in this very important topic would be, how do you think we got here? How do you think we got to this phase where it just looks like there's just so much to want to put out there? And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with putting things out there. There's the importance of putting things out there. If we do not advertise this, or if we don't talk about this, nobody will know us. But there now seem to be, beyond the necessity, what I find is that there is now the compulsion or obsession almost, or whether it's keeping up, whatever the case may be, to want to put things out there. Recently, at the time of this recording, there was just this drama of this marriage of social media, couples talking on social media, and I'm just wondering, have we gotten there where couples will be fighting and they'll go live and just come into our corner for the live? So how did we get here? Some will say it's the reality shows that started it, i.e., for instance, Keeping Up with the Kardashians as an example. People will say different things, but I want to know how we got here. I want to know your perspective of how we got here. Last time I started with Anita, so I'll be starting with Omono today.
Thank you.
Oh
Thank you so much. Anita, it's so good to see your face.
Wonderful to see you too.
You look so beautiful today.
Thank you.
I've been seeing you. Sage, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your consistency. We always have to applaud, someone who is dedicated and putting their heart to making sure that our generation, even the generation before us, the next generation, is positively influenced so that they can have the right information to kind of create that balance. So well done. Well done. God bless you. And I hope that we won't, today, myself, Anita, and Vera, and even yourself, we won't speak from our own feelings. It will be the truth. It will be the truth. The question is, how did we get here? I am just in my 30s, in my early 30s. So a whole lot of things have happened from when the internet started, which was like in the 90s. And till now, we can see, how things are evolving, the mass production of information that is going out, the kind of things that is being sold out on just social media in itself. And I don't think these things were created as a source to be bad or to be used for. Yeah, I think some of these things were created from goodwill. Like, okay, let's get in touch. I mean, I'm not with you. I'm in another country. Anita is in another country. But with this social media, we can connect, and so it's a blessing. But somehow it has become a curse as well. So it's the side of the curse that we're saying, how do we reverse it? Unfortunately, I just have to say, we can't reverse it. It's still going to get worse. We're still going to see situation of things and trends that are going to evolve, that is going to probably make people go into depression. I mean, make people suicidal and raise people's expectations. So how did we get here? I can't really tell you how we got here. And we cannot base it on maybe a reality show because most of these things were probably on TVs and the rest. But this is what I can say. However we got here, it has already planted a root in people's hearts that that if you don't put things on social media, if you don't put a face of yourself on social media that can connect with, there's now fans, there's words to make you look like a celebrity. You have to do something to entice people to follow you. So the content you are creating, if it is not catchy, people will not follow you. I was looking through Anita's page the other day, and I was very excited because the content she's putting out there, there's a base for it. God is the foundation, is the rock of my life. So anything that's fully it will flow through that. And that's what I want to preach. But you won't see a lot of views. It's only your maybe close friends, even the ones that hate you. They want to comment or see something. But it's true. But it's the curse side, and then I can't really tell you how we got here. Maybe Anita, we have a better perspective to that. But I just know that if we're on the trajectory of, if we don't maintain a good lifestyle, it's just gonna get worse. It's just gonna get worse. I mean, so I think that's where I would start from my own end and leave it to Anita. Table, the doctor.
The doctor. Omono, thank you so much for that was beautiful, and thank you for watching my content. I appreciate it. Hopefully, it encourages you.
Yes, it does.
Sage, now. Thank you so much for being consistent. This girl is there was one time there was something I said, the big sister, which is still running, and she was like, Anita, you're so consistent, and I was just looking at her like, I am consistent.
I know.
Thank you, but you are you're consistent, But anyway, that was one of our conversations. Thank you so much, guys. I think like Omono, that question of how did we get here? I'm in my early 30s. Now we're just all exposing our age, We still look like baby girls, though. I'm just saying. But, like I'm in my early 30s, and I can't tell you that I can trace where this came from. However, what I will say is, if we go back to the Garden of Eden, God created something, gave man, woman the opportunity to choose, right?
Yep.
And with every good thing, the enemy will always try to create a counterfeit. That's just it. That's the way I see it. So it doesn't matter if it's the internet today or if it is fruit juice tomorrow. Okay. The enemy will always try and find a way to package things so that it looks very attractive, but it is quite destructive. Yeah. As it seems like he's giving something, he's taking something away. So that's how I see it. As Omono was speaking, I was just thinking about, if you take it back to when we used to drink juice. That was just what I was thinking about. We used to drink juice. I mean, I grew up in Nigeria, and juice was juice. Like if they give you pineapple juice, it's pineapple juice. You know for a fact they are drinking pineapple juice for the most part anyway. Or if you were drinking milk, it was milk because, it was a local production. They bring it to you or you buy it. Like, we knew what we were eating. And to a large extent, like, Africa is still like that, I like to believe. But now you find that packaging has entered, so you see this beautiful, I don't know if people will read, I'm a health professional, so I read stuff.
Yeah.
You take a pack of, I'll use an example of cranberry juice. If there's any food production person here, please, just, I'm begging you people. You read the label, what you will see on it, zero chronicide, xanthium this. Half of these things we don't even know. And we don't even know what we're putting in our bodies. And then all of a sudden, they start to say, oh, if you ate such and such, it has this, right? Similar situation with social media. You hear things like, Zoom fatigue. And, when you listen to the strategies that Facebook and Instagram and all these people use to almost get people on board, that is why they're on a lot of panels. They're asking them questions, is this healthy? Is this helpful? There are great parts to it, but there are also really detrimental parts to it. And I think we, like Omono said, we need to be proactive about identifying those parts that are negative and addressing them proactively rather than reactively. Like, so I think that's how this whole thing has started. The enemy will always find a way to corrupt something that maybe has a good part, but because we are aware of his devices, we can address it head on and be more proactive about it. And that's why these kind of conversations are happening, because like you said, I might have 2,000, 6,000 views on one of my reels. I was like, whoa, 6,000? What? But when you go on the soundtrack, you see some people 25K, 30K. And when you look at the content, you're like, this is funny, but is this elevating us, or is this taking us to a place where, like, can we show our children in the future and be like, oh, mommy, this is what I was doing, or daddy, this is what I was doing, or like, this is who you should be in the future. I think we need to be really honest with ourselves. It's fun now, but in another 20, 30, 40 years, when we sit down, are we really going to say that we did the best for the generation to come? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for that introduction. Really, really useful. Thank you so much. So, the next question is, are we at fault, or what parts do you think we have played? And when I mean we, it may not be you and I personally, but collectively as a society, in elevating people publicly beyond what we know about them privately. So here's an example. Usually, especially in arts, entertainment, and I mean, it actually happens in different industries, but this is what comes to mind. People see a great work that a person has put out, and they are just raving and screaming about that person, maybe applauding the person for the work that they have done. And then the person comes out with a wrong side of their life, maybe their private life, and people just find a way to, cover it up. I don't know what is all right, we'll move on. But they go on, or maybe they criticize it, but they go on and still keep on, praising that person, putting the person as a king. I don't know if to bring up this example. This example is really controversial, but I'm still going to bring it up. That's why we are here. That's why I do the work that I do. So recently, there was a acclaimed gospel comedian, at least that's how I know that the person brands himself, who did a concert, and I believe that an artist came into, I'm not sure what happened, but all that was shown on the social media, because I wasn't there, was that this artist, this comedian, this gospel comedian, was kind of what people call it different things, praising this person, praising the artist, praising the person, greeting the person. People said he was worshiping. There was nothing that people did not say regarding this. But what people had problems with, or what people started to discuss, because I think at the end of the day, he's going to do what he chooses to do, or anybody for that matter. But what people started to discuss was, is this, when you say there are certain words that this person used, I can't remember now, but I think something like Ogo, and I heard that Ogo has to do something with glory or something, it has a meaning that esteems a person highly. And people started to converse that, why would you do this? Or do you think this is right, elevating a person who has maybe a lot of scandals? And then I think this artist came out to, I'm saying private scandals now in the person's life. But I think this person came out to say, this comedian came out to say, it just was giving honor to who honor is due. Anyways, the point of that is that dragged a lot, and typically, whether this person was doing it for a right intention, wrong intention, or no intention at all, people have watched that video and have seen and have said, and I believe that's what, and I will explain some things, and I've said, if this is what it means to receive honor, this is who I'm going to become. These are the things that we actually need to be careful about. If this is what it means to receive honor, that's who I'm going to become. Even if I have baby mamas, they'll forget that I have baby mamas. It's not important. As long as I'm popular and I close out this arena or that field or whatever it is that they hold this concept, and that message passes faster to people rather than sitting down them in a conference and be saying, so this is the way to go. Modeling actually speaks louder than words. So the question I want to ask to Anita and Omono is, in what ways do you think society has contributed to judging people publicly beyond what they know about them privately, or despite actually what they know about them privately, and what can we do better? Starting from the Christian community to the world, are there things we can do better? If you this people will argue that it doesn't mean I want to give honor to who honor is due. Is my page, is my these are the things that people fight about. But we're here to give solutions. That's why we're here, for people that we have been sent to. So what can we do better? In what ways well, have we been at fault, and then what can we do better to adjust this narrative of yeah, praising certain kind of people without putting in the balance. We're not saying you shouldn't tell people that they've worked hard. The person has worked hard, the person has worked hard, but where can we do the balance of modeling what a wholesome life is for people beyond generations and even our children? I hope the question was not too long.
Claire, you have described it.
Okay.
You have described it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Omono, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So for the question, and the thing that we're talking about anyway, for people who are joining, is public perception and persona versus private effectiveness. What's the balance? So that's why these questions are stemming from, the main theme that we're talking about. The question is, are we at fault, and how do we create the balance? Are we at fault that, all of this, I know this jamboree, I think
Jamboree!
I think everybody has a choice. And we're dealing with human psychology here. We're dealing with human beings. You can tame an animal. It's very easy to tame an animal. Even the biggest animal can be tamed. But to be able to tame a human being is hard. So you either have to choose. And a lot of things have influenced our decision making. Culture, society, expectation from, your parents, expectation from social media, expectation from, you can name all the bodies in the world, expectations from those sides of life, right? And you want to keep up in front. And there are things that market you more. If you have scandal, controversial issues like this, like maybe you have baby mamas, or you've done something, it will make you more popular. And unfortunately, that is what makes, your product, that's what makes you sell as a market. And if you have a good story, you have to really push for it to be out there. You have to really push. You have to have good network of people to be able to project things that you have. Unfortunately, good stories will be covered. Nobody wants to hear anything good. People want to hear bad stuff. They say bad news spread fast. It's so true. But I don't think we can put the fault on. I don't think there is a fault factor in this. It's still from how did we get here. The problem we have is that the church is not educating people enough. I don't know if some churches are doing, so I don't want to generalize. But from when this internet thing started, I don't think the church quickly grabbed it. I think we were a bit lackadaisical about it in some form or way. Now we are trying to find content. We are still trying to build something catchy. Now we are still learning the art of digital marketing and all of those kind of things that people of the world, unfortunately had already grabbed hold of and started to push these illicit stories and things that are just really terrible, and it has influenced the culture of our generation and the generations that that have come after us. But now maybe we are beginning to realize, and we're learning. Even though we are slow, the church is learning. The church is grabbing hold of it, and we serve a king that is not limited to technology. So that is just a blessing in itself. He's not limited to technology. He's not limited to social media. These channels are just avenues. So, but since we're getting hold of it, we're able to restructure a lot of Christian content is coming out now that is motivating, it's stimulating, it's captivating. And because maybe most of our fathers and preachers of the old, their pattern of preaching, it's still the same when they were not on social media. So it looks dull and it looks boring. So you don't want. So that's why we're having some of these hip hop preachers, which we call hip hop. I don't know what that means, but but they're helping to push the content of the kingdom in a way that this generation or our generation are getting it. We're like, yes, I can connect with this, but we also don't want to fall into all, because those are our fathers have set the precedence of truth. So we are just replicating it in a style that is bogus, it's catchy, it's stimulating, and the likes. So to say our faults from the Christian community, I don't think I want to put the blame, because if we put the blame on something, we will be neglecting what the root of the problem is. The root of the problem is Satan. And to put the blame on any human force, or it's just going to limit the main roots of where we are supposed to be digging into. And the devil is the father of lust. Satan is the father of evil. Satan is the father of any kind of negative influence in the world. But he uses agents. So some of these agents are, principalities and whatever it is, that now influence people's mind. And when you now choose to be influenced, you start bringing out some of these things ahead. So, but for aggravating maybe all this kind of honor, things like this, that see, anyone will honor anybody, anyone will honor anybody. And people will talk. If you've done something wrong, and if in your closet, God has forgiven you, I'm just saying, let's just see, like, God has forgiven you, people will still come out and lambast you. And I think that we are creating too much time for complaining, for aiding and abetting a lot of things. We're giving too much time to ourselves for looking at the faults and the problems. It's the time that we have that's been allotted to us, because nobody understands time except for the one who created it. So the time that we have, just like you said, we want to, Anita was saying something. She said that in 20, 30 years' time, if Christ tarries, are we going to be proud to show, our old, younger generation, or even our children that this is what one used to do, and all that kind of thing? Or if at all tempted when we were at a young age, our children are born and the generation that is coming ahead of us, we did not say, but mommy, you tasted it, you tried to do it by your own self, or daddy, how can you chastising me for not wanting to explore and do so? That's why we have to be careful. And that's why the church or the church community or the people who have the mind of God, not really everybody that is a child of God is already a church. So we're not talking about an entity that is the church. We're talking about individuals that have the Spirit of God inside of them. What are we doing in our closet that is reflecting on the outside?
Yes.
If you are creating a life that is of integrity, that is based on integrity, that is based on, just loving God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, it will naturally reflect in your on all, whether it's social media or all of this, it will reflect. But I don't want to blame an entity. I don't want to say it's someone's fault. I'm just saying the part that we have to play is now to go and check ourselves, to really evaluate if we're walking on the truth. And I'm referencing to Christian brothers and sisters, people who love God. We can sit down, talk about, relate with ourselves, have a relationship with yourself. Are you genuine? You can know if you are saying you are living a lie or you are living the truth. Because when we were born into this world, we are born with a conscience. Nobody taught you how to have conscience. You were born naturally with a conscience. So that conscience inside of you, whether you are a Christian or not, because we are from God, we have to understand we are not from the devil. Satan did not create us. All human beings are from God. All, And we were born with a conscience. It's not our mommy and daddy that taught us conscience. We probably saw what our parents were doing and we said, mommy is shouting at daddy anyhow. Me too, I can shout at daddy. But maybe your conscience tells you, maybe as a baby, you don't know, and you shout at daddy, and your mom reprimands you and says, stop that. And you tell your mom, but mommy, you used to shout at daddy now. You know, your conscience is already forming. You are forming a mindset in your conscience. But there is something inside you that tells you that, baby girl, this thing is not good. Don't shout at your elders. But, we are too excited to want to do the wrong things quickly than we want to do the right things. So what we have to do, I'll just stop on this one. The part we have to play is to go back and check our conscience. And for non-believers, when I say non-believers, people who have not accepted Jesus as their Lord and Savior, because we don't know who's going to listen to this and be inspired. I also know that you have a conscience in your heart, and you can't lie, except you have totally sold your soul to the devil. And wickedness takes time to learn, just as righteousness takes time to learn. Yes, the spirit of the devil, when we were born into this world, even though we have conscience, right? We learn based on the environment and the culture that we're in. We learn either to be on the side of good or to be on the side. If your parents are usually good and they teach you not to steal, when you are 6 and you go to school and someone steals the first time and you look and say, I don't think that thing is right. The second time, the person has to do it like maybe 30 times for your mind to get adjusted, and the person has to be persuading you for that long. And the first thing you will steal is not someone's backpack, is maybe eraser. You will start with small things. And if they didn't catch you, say, hey, they didn't catch me for eraser. Let me try and steal pen too. You will now go and steal pencils. Say, hey, they didn't catch me. Even at home, they did not check my bag and my this thing. Your conscience starts to sear. That's what that means. Your conscience starts to say, and then you still, next time you will still book. You will keep it inside. Nobody will see it. So wickedness is a process of learning. Then when we come into Christ, we now have a new spirit. You understand? When we have a new spirit, we now begin to learn righteousness. So in learning righteousness, so what happens is our conscience becomes lighter. We let that burden of wickedness that we have learned from society, from culture, from tradition, from people's expectations, and wanting to live a life of impressing others. We let it start to go easily. We let it start to go, with time. We let it start to go, and we learn. That way, we begin to reflect what is on the inside. Because honestly, a lot of people are suffering on the inside, but they are projecting a life that is different from what they're experiencing on the inside. How do we penetrate these kind of people? So the body of Christ, just like you're doing, Anita is doing in her wellness, I'm trying to do in my children, is that we're trying to model, first of all, because if you teach what you don't practice, you're a hypocrite.
Yes.
So we're trying, first of all, to become the model. This is what we can do. Model the truth. And the truth is not just what you know, it is the word of God. It doesn't matter how far you have come in life with the knowledge that you have. If you don't know the word of the Lord, if your life testimony is not measured by the truth of God's word, you are just living outright. You're just living in life. And of course, we don't expect you to know everything at once. It takes time. So give yourself, as you're learning, the other generation after you, your children, they will, the truth can taste. There's a way you can taste it. It becomes it just generates everything around you, just reflects what's that truth. It's so powerful. I can't even use words to explain it. So I think that's my own take on that question.
Thank you so much, Omono. Before you go on, Anita, I want to ask Vera, ask the question in a very paraphrased manner, and then you can answer, and then Vera will answer. But I wanted Omono to finish first.
Yeah.
So I'll add that now.
Bring Vera in.
Our introduction, then I do a paraphrase, and okay, I sent her. Oh, I'm not seeing. Okay, I'm not seeing Vera again.
What happened to my girl?
Where did she go?
I'm trying to. Oh, okay. Well, we'll just go on then.
Okay. I want to
Okay.
hear my Anita.
Yeah, please go ahead, Anita.
Oh no, I was shaking here. I'm sure people on the live will be like, what's wrong with Anita? Is she? I just wanted to stand up and just say, okay, Instagram live over. Like, you know why? People of God on this, everybody watching this, okay, I'm gonna give you a little insight. We tried our best to meet together before we came on to this. I've
Yeah.
not spoken to these ladies before today. Okay?
Yeah.
These are my notes for preparing for this, and let me read out to you to show you that this Holy Spirit we're talking about is not a myth, it is real. That was why I was shaking. The first thing I wrote down was, who are you? Who defines you? What defines you? Have a clear vision and be honest with yourself. Because like Omono
Wow.
said, you have a conscience. The Bible verse I had there, Mark 12:30-31. And you shall love the Lord. Vera. I have to stop. What's up, girl?
Please, I'm humble in this place. Better continue. I'm listening to the word of the Lord.
Yo! So I was saying, Omono quoted Mark 12:30. That was where the thing just did me like, okay, whoa, this is crazy. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your mind and all your strength. The second is this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. It's hitting me because as Omono was speaking, that was what was just being laid on my heart yesterday night. The second thing, who is around you? Who are your circle of friends? Who are the people that speak into your life daily? Like now, I hang around these girls. Whenever we have a live, I'm writing down notes that I can go and look at. Omono said wickedness can be learned, just like righteousness can be learned. And I'm taking down notes. Who is around you? Proverbs 27:9 says that oil and perfume make the heart glad. So does the sweetness of a friend's counsel that comes from the heart. So that person that is telling you, to be all right now, just do anything you want to do in your life, as long as you are popping that thing. Yeah, you're gonna pop, but in the house you might be popping other things.
Yeah.
When you are by yourself and dealing, let's all be very honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
That person is not going to be there at the end of the day.
Yeah.
A lot of times they are not. Babe, you deserve that top. You deserve that top. That top, you must buy it. You buy it, and your account. There's a song going around. We all know this song. Finesse. If you broke, it is definitely your business.
It
Because there are
is.
not many people you can call and say, oh man, I know the chop. I'm not eating. I don't have food. Please put on my table. Let's talk. Let's not even talk too up. Even as we're here now, you might be going through something and I don't know jack what of what's happening with you.
Right.
I don't know. So this thing we do where we're just gathering, everybody's around us, we're just, hey, fun times, vibes. Yeah, vibes, but you are gonna be vibing in your house, in your situation, by yourself. We're not even living in a communal like society as much. When we're growing up,
Yeah.
maybe. Now, you barely
Yeah.
know your neighbor. There are stories in healthcare of people dying in the toilets, being there for days. Nobody, old people, young people, they're in the toilet, they die. Nobody knows what's going on with them. You often hear stories, not to make it true. And if there's anybody who is, maybe this is something that is triggering for you, please, I just want to apologize in advance. But you hear stories of people, you be like, that person was such a lovely person. And like, he used to laugh a lot, or she used to, I felt like everything was okay with her.
Yeah.
They are gone. Like that. And maybe if they leave a letter behind or they talk to somebody before they go, it's the things that we encourage each other. By now you should have been, your mates are. Who gave you that time frame? Yes, strive to achieve. Nobody is taking that away from you. But who is surrounding you? Who is surrounding you? Very vital. And the last thing, keep learning. I don't know. As I'm staying here with you, there are some days that to carry Bible and read will be like, okay, I want to, but I can't. I want to watch Netflix and a YouTube show. We are here. We're on this table. I'm shaking it.
Okay, shake it, baby. Shake it, break it, all of it. Let's not find the table.
See, let's be honest. I'm a woman. There are people out there. There are human beings called men. Man can come to you. Yes, let's not be talking to up. Man call you. He say, hi, how you doing? What's going on? You two say, hi, how you doing? What's going on? Before I know it, oh, let's just go here. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's do the other one.
Yep.
And your friends are around you telling you, go girl, go girl, go girl, go girl. You two, you're like, hey, yes, so this bag, this purse, this. He might even be a genuine person. You might even be a genuine person. Before you know it, bam, 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 banana peel, somebody slide, bam. Story. The woman has become a baby mama. If you are really like you're in love with somebody, there's a way the person will touch you. Your body will, it will shake.
Yes.
Your body will do you, go shake. And if you don't have friends that you can be honest with and say, oh, I'm dealing with self-control, or I'm struggling with this, or pray for me with this, or babe, call me. I'm going out with my guy. Call me. Send me a message. Checking on me. If you don't have those friends that align with your vision and where God will have you, people that already see where you are going, and under no circumstances, me and my friends, I'm not allowing anybody's destiny to go like this. Like if I see you you're moving mad, I'll call you on the phone, say, baby girl, how you doing? I mean, I saw something, sir. How fun now? And I will do it in love. I'm not there to come and judge you, because I will also tell you what I'm struggling with. So let's not stay up. Let's calm down. Let's be honest with ourselves about our weaknesses, our strengths. And thankfully, we do not have a high priest who is like oblivious to these things.
Right.
Oh Lord, I need good friends. I saw a post the other day. Somebody wrote, I prayed for good friends and the Lord gave me these. I said, wow, that's it. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't want anybody to come and think it's this blazer you're seeing or this top. I'm not perfect. You'll be hearing, doctor. I'm not perfect. I go into rooms and sometimes I don't know what to say. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. But by the grace of God, God gives me utterance, or I'm able to navigate the situation. So I'm learning. You're learning. But don't be under any. Let's not be talking up. I was listening to a show, I've been listening to, because I like to listen to shows to hear what people are doing and understand. And they were talking about, how we present ourselves, our bodies, our, like our clothing. And somebody said, sometimes you post because of body positivity. I'm a health professional, okay? So I'll be very honest with you. Yes. Are there mental health issues related to, not seeing people like you, not feeling like you can find clothing that fits you? Yes. Yes. But let us be very honest with ourselves, please. Even me, there are some clothing I wear. I'm not wearing it for body positivity. I'm wearing it because it's fine. And I think I look nice. And I think, you know what? When I post this on social media, it's gonna bang. It's gonna be back to back. Let me be honest. Let's not do this. The truth is, thankfully, God will use, I will still speak about God, but I'm not going to come and be lying to myself that, oh, this is my sole aim of doing this thing. No, now. It's so that people can at least, they will feel like, Anita, the vibes, they dress. When I get a few comments, I said, hey, okay, my people have my back. That's the truth. I'm not going to come out and lie to you and say it's all about, it's always God on my mind. Sometimes I just want the like. I don't want to show my outfit and say, you know what, I can dress. Yes, I can dress. Yes, I can dress.
I saw some of you. I know what you're saying.
Yes, I can dress. Yes, I'm going to post this. Come on. The internet must break today. Have you seen how I look? Sometimes that's what it is. But the Holy Spirit will now tell me, Auntie, is that what I called you there for? And I'll be like, okay, but let me there's many things I don't post. I want to post, the Holy Spirit say, no, your intentions are not correct.
Yeah.
Your intentions are not correct. You just want to show yourself. No, I want myself to be shown. And when I get to the point where, okay, I have been convicted and we now post, and people be like, hey, are you in this country? Are you in that country? No, sometimes the delay is that my intentions were not correct. And you only have to cause me. On the Friendly Encourager, I've been wanting to post so many of my videos. I do videos so I have so much content. But sometimes, Holy Spirit say no. You just want 5,000 likes. When you come to the point where you want my glory to go ahead and you want to encourage people, which is the purpose of the site, go ahead. So I think to sum it all up, number one, who are you? Who defines you? What defines you? Be honest. Number two, who is around you? Number three, keep learning. Keep learning. Allow the Holy Spirit to do all things. And by the grace of God, you'll get there. Yes.
Thank you so much,
I'm going to
Anita.
mute
Thanks.
myself now
I want
because
to
Vera is here.
summarize. I'm going to summarize the question for Vera so that she can answer and share her view. Before I go on, can you hear me, Vera? I'm not sure. I think
It went off again.
yes, I think it looks like your network is buffering. Yes, I'm seeing that circle. So I don't want to go ahead if Vera cannot hear me. Sorry about the network challenge. It happens a lot in Nigeria. Let me see if we can attempt to use the next 1 minute to add Vera before we go on to the next questions and we actually begin to round up. Sorry, just 1 minute.
Anita, thank you for highlighting those things you said.
What's that?
Thank you so much.
Oh.
As in, thank you for the highlight of,
Bless God, bless God. And thank you. I just realized we're matching Omono. See your earrings, see my top. Hey, go boo.
Oh, why didn't we exchange outfits?
We should have. It's okay. We'll do it next time.
Anita, I need some of your blazers.
In fact, I need to even start a blazer line self because blazers are my thing. They've always been my thing. Thank you. Don't worry.
Me too.
Really?
You know now.
I know now.
It's even in kitchen. That's anyway, we will not talk about that one here. It's our private corner.
Yes, so don't worry, addresses shall be exchanged.
That's
I'm trying to add. Okay,
Vera,
Vera
you're
is back.
back.
All right.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you
guys.
so
Today's a
much.
busy day.
Hi.
Thank
Sorry.
you so much, Vera. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Okay, so I will rephrase or I will just pack the question together and you can share. Okay, it looks like I'm echoing. I'm not sure why. Or is it just me that doing that?
It's fine. It's actually fine. It's not bad.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So, Vera, the questions that we've been trying to answer is number one, this whole there was a video that surfaced online about a certain comedian. Let me try to remove.
We have four online having that
Oh, that be
effect.
better. Yeah.
Is this
Okay.
better? Yes. So let me remove my AirPods. All right. So, like I was saying, there's a video that surfaced online about there was a certain Christian comedian that was, well, according to him, giving honor to an artist in the space, in the Nigerian space, and people started to share and talk about how he felt like he was worshiping this person who wasn't part who had whatever well who had like a life that was not necessarily aligned with what this person's Christian values were are or could be. So what I'm drawing out of, or what I drawing out of that question is, are we at fault, or what part are we playing in the Christian community and even extensively to judging people publicly, or well, should I say putting people up there publicly beyond what we know about them privately? I also said in the first question about it's not even just one story. We've heard stories of people who are great, who are receiving awards on the outside, but internally, the way they treat their staff is just a whole problem. So the question overall is, what part do you think they have played in esteeming people up there who may not have so great of a value, versus what do we need to do better moving forward before we go on to the next question?
I think social media has done a lot of damage when it comes to that. So people affiliate success with numbers of followers and all of that. So if you have a nice car, if you dress properly like Anita, if you if you have like some level of good English, you speak well, or you probably travel different places in the world, it means that you are fine. It means that you're mentally, emotionally, spiritually okay to mentor them. But that's not what it is. I mean, like we've seen situations where like we literally put somebody up, and then like when they fall flat, they fall so flat that you're asking yourself what exactly is happening. So what we have done is, it's what social media has done. So this is what I would say. I would say it's not going to stop. It's not going to reduce. But what we can do is we can channel our own energies by what we post. For example, we can say, guys, I'm not perfect. Guys, like we're learning together. I'm leading, you're not following, you're leading with me, right? Yeah, it's not a situation of the ultimate disciple is, I mean, the ultimate discipler is Christ. We're all disciples. Do you understand? So I'm not your discipler. No, Jesus Christ is the discipler. He's discipling me as well as discipling you. So people can only follow you to the extent to which you follow Christ. Do you think? So that's what I would say about that. People just look at the fruit. What do family members have to say about these guys? What do people, not random people. If you give people 5,000 naira constantly on social media, I mean, they will follow you. If you're always doing giveaways, people will naturally follow you.
Baba do
Do you get?
giveaway.
But are you actually inspiring right? Are you actually inspiring people? Are people blessed, like really, because you are here? And are you not just anointed on camera? Do you really have the fruit of the spirit? Can people around you like attest to the fact that, or testify to the fact that you have the spirit of God? Recently, my brother was talking to me about how hard he was working and stuff, and he looked at me and he said, I don't work as hard as you do, but like I work hard. And I smiled. I'm like, I'm always sleeping. Why do you?
Oh, I think the network,
Yeah.
yes, but she
My
was
God, please, you
back.
need to help us with this network issue, Nigeria. Please, there's anybody on here who has a solution?
So,
Please, look at this beautiful life now. Mm?
exactly,
I wish I was in
exactly.
tech. Sometimes I'm like, Lord,
Sure,
plenty things to
God will deliver to your hearts. Oh, she's left, but she's
uh,
going to come
to,
back again.
to
Even
come
same
back.
with Omono.
As well.
Even
Yeah.
same with Omono, yes. But I think it was the network thing, and they will be
Yeah.
back. Thank you for staying with us. We are working on it.
Uh-huh.
It's like, okay, she's back.
What's going
Hey.
on? I'm
All
so
right.
sorry. Like today is actually really a busy day and stuff. So, yes. So it's like he said to me, and I'm like, I'm always resting, I'm always sleeping, and he's like, I know you. So here's the point: I'm always sleeping, but I'm not always sleeping. I'm always working. There's always stuff to do. Do you understand? So it's more like it's not in I am going out or carrying huge things or like my energy is being exerted. It's like the fruits is showing. Do you understand? The results, you can see the results of people's lives changed, right? I recently took a class in which I told her that I had to go for exams and stuff. So it's like putting yourself constantly in the heat of learning,
Mm.
of continuous learning, like what Anita said. I wasn't really here when Omono was talking, but putting yourself in a continuous heat of learning. That exam that I just took now is more like everybody else.
Mm.
Back again. Let's pause it here. Boom.
Anita, why is Anita like this?
Hey,
Anita is
the
less
way God made
positive again.
me. The way God made me.
Anita is less
We are gonna see more of this.
positive.
We paused it. We're just on. We'll soon rewind this more, and then she'll come. Just watch. Just watch.
Should try to add Omono now. These are the things that
Are we
happen.
pressing play?
Okay,
Play.
okay, I think this is Omono.
Yes, we can see your
Okay,
beautiful Bible.
all right. So let me add Vera. Yes, I
We're
can see
back.
at the start of the yes.
Vera
Let's
was
see.
giving
So
us
Vera,
class books.
I don't know what happened. This it just went off. I've never seen that before. It just says your device is overheating.
Okay,
oh,
have you
okay.
turned off your device recently?
My device always go off. I don't even usually know where it is.
Maybe it's just hot. Maybe it's just sometimes it happens.
So I'm using my phone now. I've never used my phone.
Okay, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. It's fine.
Thank
And I missed a lot from there. That was so painful.
Oh yeah.
she was still, she's trying to complete what she's saying.
Mm.
It's just that her network,
Yes.
her network. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to see if we can. Okay, she's trying to join. So we'll just give it, say, 50 seconds and she's trying to actually join in. So, all right. Okay.
If this one is working.
Oh, my people are here. Hi, Ifoma. Hello. Chai.
For the drama.
I was saying to Nkechi that we need to say that we need a tech solution for this internet stuff. It's too painful. Now we have to wait for the great Vera. Hey, are we pressing play?
You having conversation. You just disappear.
Yay!
Okay.
I'm so sorry. See, this is crazy. Oh. What I'm gonna do? We need to lock me down, tie me somewhere.
All right.
So yes, I was saying something. I needed to finish what I was saying. Yes.
Yes.
So I've forgotten the last thing I said, but the last point I wanted to make. Yeah.
No, you were saying that you're always. Your brother was saying you're always sleeping, but it's like the fruits are coming out.
Yes. So it's like it's like in every other person's eyes, it's more like I'm locked up in the room and I'm working, or I'm probably like resting, but like they can obviously see the fruits, right? The third thing I was gonna say is be vulnerable, right? So be vulnerable. Vulnerability is super important as someone that owns an Instagram page. It means you're going to have followers, right? So you want to be vulnerable, and then you want to really put that. You might not necessarily share exactly what you're struggling with, but let people know that you're actually not perfect. This goes a long way. So all of us on this journey, we are learning a lot. So you putting yourself, and you know the annoying thing about this stuff is that when people now start to feel like they are right because of a certain number of followers they have, right? So I mean, it makes every other person feel like I'm not as worth it. Do you understand? I mean, I purposely do not want to grow my Instagram followers more than what it is right now. I've stopped posting on Instagram. I don't know if anybody noticed. I stopped being very active online and stuff. I needed to grow me personally. I needed to focus on me personally because
this internet, it needs flogging.
How do you do that tongue twisting thing?
This thing?
This thing.
It's in secondary school.
Okay.
So I've mastered it. It's not. Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much. We need to invite you to my house. Everybody, we talk like this. We do this.
The thing, I would really like to be there.
Oh,
honestly.
Laugh. If you think I'm goofy, oh my God. Oh my God. God has blessed me.
Sage, you wanted to say something. You wanted us to just forward.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll have to move to the next question to also save time. And actually, the next person I wanted to ask, the next person is actually Omono. So now, with all these things that we have actually shared, how do we begin to build privately to match a genuine public appearance? In fact, like I mentioned, having private encounters that are even better than public appearance or better than what you are showing off publicly. How and what do people need to know? Of course, listening in, and that will also listen in on what we need to do privately. So, so we're not building to match up a public appearance, but we're building and we're enjoying and becoming who we really are privately beyond what we even show publicly. So how do we build that as individuals?
Okay, so thank you so much for the question. I think prior to this time, Anita, she actually highlighted some things. You know, she was like, who you are, you have to know who you are. I think we already touched base with that question a bit. Who you are, you know, the circle of friends you keep, you know, what are your values, you know? So I think, and Anita actually did highlight on that, and I don't want us to spend so much time in case we have concluding thoughts that we needed to share. So if anyone listens through, they would hear some of the things Anita said that was very profound, and just talking about your conscience as well. So what you can do in your private life, it's seriously, it's not hard. That Anita said, if you have the Holy Spirit, it kind of helps you to navigate what you should do. And you know, I was saying the other time that the truth has a way of just projecting in your life, whether private or public. It has a way, and we have mentors. We might not have, we have to have mentors in our journey of projecting the truth. We have to have, spiritual mentors, mentors that guide us mentally, emotionally, and we have to be humble. You have to stay humble to be able to walk with your mentor, because your mentor is not perfect. We don't have anyone that is perfect. It's only Jesus that is perfect. So what that we're working with broken people that Jesus is mending to become the bride. So we also are one broken piece, and we have to know we don't know what part of the broken piece we are, but we are happy that whatever we are, even if it's the nail of the last finger on the hand of the bride of Christ, we are happy because it is serving a function. So and we should not be so much concerned about public life. Um, so we now have two facets of life. We have public, we have private. How did we come about that? That's what we're talking about, right? But it's now become a thing. If you don't post online, if you're not posting, you're not trending, if you're not following up with what is happening, you are archaic. They call you almost obsolete. But it's the choice. Someone like me, oh my God, I'm so sorry, but even my younger sister, she references and says that, Vera, welcome back. Vera, we're in the last chapter, we're rounding up. She references and says that, I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. Because she calls me, she says, oh my God, this is what is happening. And to be honest, I don't know. I don't know that is happening. And she would say, why don't you know this trend that we now have? And I hate to know what's happening because I get so emotionally drained.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, if someone calls me and they tell me about their life, you will see me writing things down. Oh Lord, give me prophetic word for this. I'm praying for nations. It takes my time. I don't see, so I don't want to know so much that is happening because I don't want it to take
Yeah.
the time I have with the Lord Jesus. So I think you listen through, you hear the things that Dr. Anita said, and you also get things that, and I think Sage, you also touched base on some of the things. Just looking at the paradigm of how things are shifted over time because of social media. So know who you are. I mean, know your circle of friends. I think in case you haven't written it down, I think we'll write it down. Anita, you write it down so that page can the things you said. I
Okay,
mean,
yes,
it answers the question.
I'll send
Yeah,
what you said. Thank
yes, and keep learning. That's how you can. And then there's no public and private life because that just steps beyond instruction. There is a life. There's just one life, and that one life governs everything around you. Whether it's public or it's private, if you have a genuine life that you're living, it will reflect on every other thing you're doing. The Bible says in Timothy, this is how to be a good minister of Christ. This is a good minister of Christ on the stage. And when you are out of stage, don't be a good minister of Christ. There's nothing like that. Just like be a man of one wife, be sober, don't be, we are taking things there. And Paul highlighted it to Timothy because he was a young minister of Christ. And when he highlighted how to be a good minister of Christ, this is how to be a right administrator, this is how to be a wife of a deacon. These are the requirements to be a good citizen. But at the end of the day, you say, who can meet all of this? If it's not only Jesus. So Jesus is the great minister. We've learned from him. We acclimatize to his nature. And then in turn, that becomes our reality, whether in the public or in the private place. I'm just saying those terms because I know the common thing now that you say what you are in the public and what you are in the private. There's nothing like that. So let's put life together. What you are in life reflects on the public or the private. You don't have to say everything happening to you, just like Vera was saying the other time. But go back, listen to this from the beginning, and we will highlight the things that Anita said, and then we'll take it up from there. Anybody that has questions can now do questions, and then probably just answer. What do you think? Say,
Can you hear me now?
Better.
yeah.
Right. So yes. So roughly, the three questions that I'm going to tie together. I want to move to Vera now, and we're going to wrap up. The question is, well, since Anita and Omono have already answered that question, let's move to the next question, actually, which is, we think a lot of people are working on building perception which is not being picked up in their private life because they have been told that that is how they can sell, and that is how they can get money, and that is how they can get the kind of consumers and customers that will buy for them. Branding. What are your thoughts on that? And what would you say is the balance between a person branding and also working it privately without looking like you are being fake, but also without wanting to lose your target audience?
That question is for me, right?
Yes. Since the other question has been sorted, and then
The truth is that branding is you.
mm,
In the long run, branding is your values, branding is your personality, branding is people don't suggest to you what colors to use for your business. You are the one that take it and say, this is the colors I want to use for my business. So in the long run, branding is you. And the way people think branding is, people think that branding is away from who you really are. It's like the content is terrible, but let's make the outside look fine. But that's not what we're about. Branding is truly branding is truly who you are, right? So what you want to do is marry them together. And you know, there's a fine line between who you are and who you want to be. You know, that kind of thing. So you put out who you want to be so that people can, you know, fake it till you make it. You understand? That's what people do. So, but it doesn't add up. Just put your best strengths out and then work on your weaknesses. Put your strengths out, right? Strengthen your strengths. Strengthen your strength, put that out for people to see. And the places where you're weak, partner with other people. But like, and this is, you can't, how do I put it? If you use falsehood to get it, you have to use falsehood to keep it, to maintain it. So you don't want that kind of thing. Let me give you an instance. The reason why I do emotional, mental, all of this wholeness is because it's who I am. I've gone through cycles and cycles of wholeness experiences, different cycles, different sexual abuse, physical abuse, relationships, right? Back to back. And it would be very stupid of me to bring up what I'm not. I don't teach in areas that I don't have strengths in. I'm great with productivity. If you give me 1 month to do a big conference with 200,000 naira, I would pull it off. I am good with these kinds of things. I know how to enlarge, to increase capacity. This is me. You have to find your strength and put it out there. And guess what? Anybody that doesn't take your strength for what it is not really supposed to be with you. Do you understand? So instead of lying and bringing out falsehood to get to that place, what's then the point of who you are? What's then the point of like God making you who you are, or you doing personal development, or you grow your spiritual life? What's then the point if God really doesn't need who you are to be who you should be, or to do what you need to do? What's then the point? It's who you are that you're supposed to sell. So in the long run, you have to work on you till you get to that point where other people, the kinds of brands you want to work with you, or the kinds of people you want to work with you, can see you for that. In the long run, it's the favor of God that wins. In the long run, it's the excellence that you put in that wins. In the long run, it's personal development that wins. In the long run, it's spiritual capacity that wins. In the long run, it's faith that wins. So why on earth would you want to be another person or do other things and then expect, like, do you get the kind of results that you want? Who do you really want blessing you, helping you? Is it God? Who are you really trying to impress? Is it human beings? Because if God doesn't favor you, human beings will not. So what's the point?
Okay. Thank you so much.
I have a mic
Vera,
here. Drop it.
Okay. She drops the mic.
Oh, that's I'm still on track. Thank you.
Dr. Anita, I'm so sorry. I need to take this forum to tell you, Dr. Anita, that you are wearing red. You are looking like me. You can't be doing such.
What's that?
Okay, so Anita, your question. I don't know why this is not. Okay, your
What's that?
question, Anita, and our second to the last question before we take the final round question and final thoughts for today is: what are your views on awards and honor? Awards, honor, respect, and how it is done in the world today, whether in the church, whether they are released and what are all this charts and all that. What are your views? I just want to know what your view is regarding honor awards generally in our world today. But I also must say that there are people, and there's nothing wrong with awards, personally, in my opinion, but there are people that they've given awards to literally 4 stars in our day and age. I don't want to get into calling brand names. So,
Nkechi,
what
sorry for
metrics do
cutting
you
you.
think people use to select that?
Nkechi.
And what can we do better? I think maybe that is a more specific question in
Vera was
the
trying
selection
to ask
process.
something.
So I barely have 5 minutes. I have a visitor waiting for me down. So like, do I have anything to say so I can go? I barely have 5 minutes. I'm telling you, I barely have 5 minutes. Is there anything else for me so that I can actually go?
Yes, but it has to come after Anita answers her question.
I can answer
Okay.
Yes, because it's the final. The last question is for everybody, but Vera can start.
I barely have
before she
5
goes
minutes.
on.
I barely have 5 minutes too. Do I have is there any questions specifically for me so I can answer and then go?
No, you don't have a question specifically for you. The last question is a general question.
General question. Okay, you know what? Like, can I go off and then I'll come back on? Okay, thank you.
Okay, Anita, you can go ahead.
See you soon there.
I'm not sure why. Can you
Um,
hear me, Anita? Okay, you can go ahead.
Yeah.
Interesting question. So I have with my partner, we have a fashion event we do every year. It's called La Freak. Beautiful event. Okay. You can check it out on social media. La Freak Fest. And we give an award called the Icons of Hope. And we have a selection process where we identify people in the community that are doing particular work. Okay, so it can be in security, police officers or people in fashion, or it just depends on the categories that we have identified. And I think that it is fair to say that for some, yes, we know them. Maybe we might know more about them than others, right? And we're not privy to their private life, as we have now come to see that life is life, but we're not privy to their everyday activity. What we're privy to is maybe their professional life, or what they have packaged and put out there. Okay, as much as possible, we make sure that our process is clear. Right?
Fair, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So I think it's just a call for everybody to be fair in their processes. If you want to give me an award, for instance, I'm going to be goofy here and say best dress, 2022. If you want to give me that award, you don't know where I'm getting my clothes from, likely. Okay. You don't know. It's true. I might be stealing my clothes. Do you know that? You don't know that. Okay. But I don't. Please. I don't. Please. I have good vendors of my clothing. If you want them, just send me a message, friendly or cordial. I'll encourage you with that. Yes. So, but yeah, I have no way of knowing how somebody does what they do. But I hope that as much as possible, the Holy Spirit will guide me in who I pick or who we pick for an icon of hope. And so far, we've had a beautiful experience. Another thing is my award, my doctor of physiotherapy is an award given to me for my hard work. Okay, my school did not follow me around to go into my room and find out whether I was doing things abnormally, and thankfully I didn't. But we know of people who might buy their dissertation or, you know, achieve things through various means. So if you are a person who gives awards, I would say just make your process as clean and as clear and as fair as possible. Assess people based on their work. Okay. And by the grace of God, the Lord will pick the right people. If you want to award them, right? I think people should be encouraged and appreciated for what they do. If I have an award now, of course, I will be looking at Sage. I'll say I nominate Sage for most consistent on social media. I think that would be a very worthy thing to give you. Okay. Or if somebody wants to honor you with, you know, an award for mentorship and highlighting the important things in the body of Christ, I think that's fine. But Sage, I don't follow you around every day to know what you're doing, what your weaknesses are. So we oftentimes, yes, have to judge people on what we see. And if we're awarding, we do it based on what we see. But I'd even encourage you as an awardee and, you know, whatever the issues are, on both sides, an awarder, thank you, to be fair. And even when if I receive an award, it's an encouragement to be better, to learn more, to do better, rather than a balance. You know, we have a story in the Bible of somebody that say, okay, now I'm going to, and we know what happened to the person. You know, so I often say, the moment you stop learning, when you feel like you're in a place where you stop learning, that's almost like a mini death, like a tiny death. You know, or almost like the beginning of. So keep going, keep learning. I think your process is fair, make it clear. And by the grace of God, the Holy Spirit will help us to pick the right people to be it, and not as a word, let's say nobody is above God, please. Even if somebody is giving an award, remember this is a human being. They can fail you can fail tomorrow. So don't come and say, oh, we give you awards for best dress, and then now you are wearing rags. Anything happen? I might have to, you know, maybe Holy Spirit tells you pack all your clothing. I mean, that would be tough. But pack all your clothing and give it to somebody. You know, I mean, do you intend to replace my closet soon, or like, you know, what's the plan, right? So I think let's be kind to one another and remember that nobody is God. If you give somebody an award, let it go. That's right. You have awarded them based on what you saw. Let it go. If it is so dire that you maybe have to retract the award, go through your processes, be clear, be fair. And if you have to retract it, retract it. It's just what it is. Hopefully that I hope I've been able to convince you.
No, actually, brilliant. In fact, it was best that the question went to you. Oh, yes. And so I'm grateful for that. Finally, Omono, and of course, Anita, I don't know if Vera will join us before we close out. I want to conclude with this question. There was a case of Bamise some weeks ago. It happened of this lady who was. There are different allegations, allegedly raped, allegedly abused, all of those things. She boarded a BRT bus, for those who don't know the story, and then this BRT driver just was funny about whatever happened, and then she passed on. Now, a lot of people have spoken about Bamise the case, but what I want us to speak to as we close out is, what can we do as a church, as a people, and as a nation to build up people in terms of character and in terms of character, in terms of wholesomeness? Because when we drill down, which you have spoken about, Mono, Anita, you've actually spoken about a lot today. When we go down to the root, especially Mono, talking about the roots,
you will see that things that happen on the surface do not just happen for the first time. There's a
Right.
root. It's not like, oh, the person just came out today and just, killed somebody. There's a root, and I'm sure if we go back, we'll see childhood and all that, and we may not be able to explore all that right now, right here. But at least what I know you both can help us to answer is, what can we do better as a nation? For me, what I've committed to doing is the show I do on radio, in terms of just building my own target audience are grassroots Nigerians. So what can we all do as a church, as a people, to make sure that we are building people who are wholesome, who are sane, and who are people of character? And I must add, especially grassroots, because I usually say, I've been singing this lately. You can't be higher than the lowest person in your nation. I know people that God forbid, but you just can't. I saw a video recently of a car entering an estate, and well, what do you call them? Armed robbers or thieves or whatever it is you want to call them. Literally was going to break the glass or something like that, but I think the person zoomed off. Now that car is a car, tinted, everything, entering their estate. But look at the assault the person is facing in front. Yes, you're protected in your estate, but when you drive out of your estate, who are you going to meet? What do you have waiting for you? So, yeah, the same question, the way I'm asking it goes to Omono and Anita. What can we do? I know that we've been trying. People are trying. I'm not saying people are not trying, but I'd just like to do what we know what we can do to build better individuals, especially people who don't have it all together, or what we call the average or less than average Nigerians. And that is my last question for today.
Wow. No. Anyway, it's been a good time together with my sisters, so I just want to applaud you and thank you so much, Nkechi, for the questions that you raised today. Anita, thank you so much for the things you highlighted. For this talk, I mean, this question cannot be consumed in a 10 minutes talk. We can't finish it. No, it's something that we'll have to keep reenacting, and also, in the sense of also checking ourselves. But for that Bamise case, apologies to the people who had gone through that horrific experience. The mother, the people involved, the friends. I saw the video you sent to me. I was just embittered. I was pained, and I was like, but something came to my mind. I was like, this is not a trend. It's not a trend. No, it's not. But social media has helped us to magnify some things. Beyond its normal state. Of course, it's a painful thing, and we cannot neglect the horror that the girl had to face. She must have been fighting for her life, and there was no one there to help. She was helpless, probably raped and killed. Her body parts. I mean, that is just, it's not a thing that we even wish for our enemies, talk less of someone that is just a normal girl going out. But it's not a trend. It is something that has been happening from the word go. It is, I mean, I grew up in Edo State. Those were normal things you see. You see sacrifices, you see people killed. You are just praying every day to be protected, especially in a country where there is no power. And there's no power. There's no security cameras to check, okay, what happened in so area at so time. We haven't put a lot of things in place. That's why we are praying prayers and trying to educate people on security and all of those things that we shouldn't be doing. Nigeria is a country that is rich of resources, but there's darkness spiritually and there's darkness physically. Where do we start from? Where do we start from? You think of it. Where do we start from? Where there's even power self, we can even say, oh, if this person was raped, there's a way that technology and internet and power, light, this thing called light, we think it's funny. It's not a joke. The first thing, when the Holy Spirit was brooding over the earth, they did not have lofty ideas. God the Father, the Son, and the Spirit did not have lofty ideas. They said we have to project something that can illuminate our thoughts and the paradigm of who we are on the earth. And the thing made was light. And I think it should ring a bell in our head. And it is not light that is inside. It's light that we can see. As in, God made light that you can see. That's why he now even puts in the form that, okay, let's make it sun in the day and moon in the night, so that it can create a source of energy to the earth that people can see in the night when people have to work and they don't, they can use it to calculate the times and the seasons. Nigeria needs light. I'm not talking about spiritual light. We have plenty churches. We need physical light to be able to know what street lights are bad. I mean, of course, if we know it's as in, and this, I was just thinking of it. A lot of people have, a lot of people that are being sold. A lot of people are killed, but there's no traceable. There's no trace. Maybe the babalawo is too strong there, and they don't want light, physical. They. I don't know, but so what we have to do is we have to start praying the right prayer. We have to know the kind of prayers to pray. Empowering people, educating people. The average people are not looking to be empowered. They need food. The people lower than the average, they are not looking for empowerment program or youth development program. They need money. People need money, and people need food. People need a sense of belonging. And we don't create this environment for them, and it's scary because it is still ongoing. Of course, things are a little bit better, but at this age in 2022, we're still doing sacrifice of people's body. But of course, those things will not end, but it should be limited at, so we haven't. That means we should check ourselves from the church, from the place of government, from the place of power. What are we missing out? What are we missing out? When you go out, you have to look around. You have to drive carefully. There are some things you have to do so that you can get home safe. Okay, too much of a mental burden. You have to think of.
Yes.
You have to think of safety when you go out. You have to think of safety even while you're at home. I had a friend. She said during the COVID time, oh God, they were breaking into people's houses. Young boys just hungry. There was no business, no money. The palliatives were not being prepared. People were hungry. Their husbands had to become vigilantes because the security men were tired. They were killing them, and husbands will take turn in their estate or in their community. In fear, they will hold machetes, no access to guns anyhow, to just keep their families. God bless the ones that did it, and God bless the ones that died in the process to keep their homes. But I mean, I'm just saying that I don't know where we can start from. And talking about the average people, we are all average. We all need help. You understand? There's no, even as you said, someone was coming out of their estate and they were almost going to be, just look at the time. Just look at how short you just come out of your estate and they are starting to attack you. It is it's the prayers that we're trying to say, God, how do we begin to pray? How does the church have to pray now so that we can get a clear instruction from God to help us navigate through this? What are the things, like Martin Luther, when he took up the challenge to say everyone has to vote, it was not a passive thing of prayers. He went out, they mobilized people because of his demeanor and his passion. He came out and he marched till there was a turning point.
There was a turning, yes.
About a civilized world. Now we're talking about our own nation. Nobody when you march, they kill you. When you ask for something, they pursue you, and we see, I don't know, Anita, I don't even have any, but there's a whole lot. But this is our assurance. This is where this is our starting place. God is enough. And anything we are doing from here is to say, okay, whatever it is that we lack, we already have it in Christ. But how do we now begin to live it out? We have people who have gone ahead of us, people like Fela Toye, that through those darkness, he's been able to penetrate the light. Of course, he can't reach out to everybody. Through those darkness, he's been able to penetrate the light and raise people to also become the light. What are we doing in our closet to break through this darkness? Not just, the physical darkness, now spiritual darkness. To say, how do we push through? The only way we can push through is to be in God, and then to discipline ourselves. Because a lot of us don't want to discipline ourselves. We want things to be done for us on a platter of gold. Well, it's not going to happen. You have to learn discipline and diligence and consistency, because you don't know who you're going to touch one day with your life. You don't know that one person that is going to be the next Billy Graham. It was just one hymn. I mean, in a crusade of many people, that this small pastor came and he preached, and Billy Graham in his darkness came out and he received the light, and he changed the world. He went to Soviet Union. He was called, he was friends of president, a man of God, friends of president. They will call him in their inner closet. Those discussions that he had with president, they didn't video it, they can't say it, but he was their comfort. So we need to keep projecting this light in the best way that we can. We are talking about people like in Ajegunle. What are we doing? What kind of projects are we doing in those kind of places that look, subjected to poverty and pain, in Mushin and all of those kind of areas? How do we get financial aid for empowering people in those kind of places? We need to come up with, the church has to come up with strategic, ways of how to raise funds, who are our content creators? Who are those people who have the light in the sense of creating some projects that are mind-blowing? We need to start incorporating, we need to give them a sense of exploration. This generation have a lot of sense of exploring. They have ideas.
Yeah.
So the church has to give room. There's no need to say, this is how we have been, this is how we are. No, who we are becoming is more important than who we are. So, and who we are becoming in Christ. So thank you, Jerry. So, those are the things that we just need to put and just continue to be the light. And sorry, it's a passionate topic for me. That's why I'm just angry.
Please, no need. In fact, I'm great that we're ending like on this note. Like these are our final words. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, and for touching all of those areas. Thank you, Anita. Your turn to answer the question and any final words you have.
Yes.
Even know this is my topic.
I'm not sure I heard Anita. Okay.
No, I said this
is my topic.
This is my topic. We can't address
okay.
We can't address it in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 3 years, 10 years. It's a painful thing to hear the story of a young lady. Even hear her name that's a name her parents gave her with hope. And it's sad to hear. I'm going to throw a very heavy load on everybody here. So let me apologize. We're all responsible for that young lady's death. Every single one, myself included. I know that's a heavy thing to feel, but it's true. There's a word called apathy.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. It says apathy is a complete lack of emotion about a human being, an activity. It's not to say that we are responsible for her death.
Yeah, I understand.
But we, Nigerians, we are all responsible. Government, people, every single person. I will not put that on her parents because that's going to be heavy. But I want us to really think about it. Right? Every Nigerian life is the responsibility of every Nigerian. When you're in the US, the UK, you're in Australia, all these structured environments, if you even read health and safety outline, say safety and safety is everyone's responsibility. But it's almost like we left the Garden of Eden and went straight to Nigeria. Like the blame thing, just like there was just like a fast forward, because we blame a lot. We don't take personal accountability a lot of times. So I want to say this. The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. It says there's no greater commandment. Love the Lord your God with everything in you. Then love your neighbor as yourself. So it's there are many levels there. When I see the road not working, I don't automatically think government. I think Anita. And maybe we'll need some mental health. Nkechi can guide us on the counseling element. But I don't think government. I think me. What is my contribution to this? I was watching an interview with Honorable Ketanji Jackson, right? Ketanji Brown Jackson, and the she's the black lady who is the Supreme Court nominee, and Senator Cory Booker, yes, was speaking with her, and he said something so profound. The thing like gave me chill. He said, "Our parents were in an America that not love them, but they said we will still do the work till this country loves us the way we deserve to be loved." And that is the testimony of the likes of Martin Luther. He's not enjoying what he fought for today. And oftentimes we want to enjoy it. We're not going to see it, and
we won't be involved.
We're not involved. Why would I go? The people that died, let's be real. The people that died on it. Did they go out? I mean, did they go out and say today we are going to die? Maybe some. They laid their life. The Bible says, "Greater love has no man, and he should lay his life down for a friend." And we think blood is just something like the person has died. That's apathetic.
No.
I drove past that road and we're driving. I was like, oh my God, there is blood on the floor. We complain. We complain that our politicians are apathetic. We are apathetic. That is why somebody will say, "I just want to japa." Yes. I'm not telling you don't leave. I'm not telling you the world is the Lord's. Enjoy it, travel, live in different countries. But my darlings, if God has made you in Nigeria, it's for a reason and it's for a purpose. Don't be deceived. Whether you are abroad, whether you japa, whether you run, whatever the case, you enter boat, you reach Spain, whatever the case, nobody is coming to fix Nigeria for you. Nobody, I'm telling you now, nobody. They might try and collaborate, but they will always take. Unless the Lord has sent them. Nigerians are the ones that will work for Nigeria, even when Nigeria does not love them the way Nigeria should.
That's right.
So if you meet people who want to go back to Nigeria, don't discourage them. Listen. Advise. Pray.
That's right.
Encourage them when they are there. How many people are abroad and are donating money to a charity or to a cause or to something that's doing something? People post stuff online. When they say, this person has died, if you have a solution, type the solution in there. Don't automatically attack the person and say, this thing will not work in Nigeria. Rather say, okay, there are nuances about Nigeria that might make this difficult. How can we refine this? Immediately I saw that video, I went straight to start looking at security measures on buses and, developing countries. How can we track our data? The responsibility of nation building. My dear, no matter how you struggle, there's no way you will listen to this young lady's story. Even if you don't have any family in that whole country, there's no way you will listen to this woman's story and you will just
No.
yeah. That's apathy. And if we want to live in apathy, let's do it with your chest. But understand that when there's no justice for one, when there's no justice for one, when we have been shouting, please, we need electricity, we need alternative sources. There are two countries that are hopefully they will stop fighting soon. It has affected everybody's oil prices.
That's right.
Now we are not scavenging. Hey, okay, who are the people that are developing devices? Reactive. The COVID-19 situation, when it hits, we have been begging. Our health professionals are leaving. Set up something. Let's all do work. Let's do this. Let's do that. Okay, let's give advice. Okay, let's. And some people are still working, and I want to say thank you so much for the hard work you do.
Yeah.
Why should somebody be dying from expired medication? And we are here and we're all laughing. But our fathers, our mothers, our pastors, our celebrities that we love, all the people that we hold there are in the country. And somehow we think it's not going to affect them. I'm a health professional. I've spoken to people. I have a friend here who is also in my profession. I've spoken to people who have had back pain for years, and they've been paying money, and the back pain is there. I give them a call. I give them advice. In days, their backs are feeling better. I've not touched them. What does it tell you? It means that this person has been suffering a quality of life subpar 14 years, 15 years, 30 years. And thank God for the platforms like NSPBD, Hallelujah Challenge, where people can come in, they say, oh, I was healed.
Exactly.
But God has also given us the science. Okay, maybe you don't want to stay in Nigeria. Find a mentor now. Find a mentee. Do CPD, continuous professional development with them. Build them up. No, I must be paid. I must be paid this amount of money. Or no, I want to see the immediate effect now. That one person that I have helped now to live a better quality of life is going to be able to produce better for the community.
That's right.
Yeah.
Americans suffered, African Americans, I commend them a lot. They've suffered for hundreds of years, but guess what?
Oh, yeah.
They are still fighting. How old is Nigeria? You hear them talking about 400 years, 300 years, 200 years.
Yeah.
How old is Nigeria? Yes, Nigeria is you can argue it's not a country. The people were put together. Yes, all those things are there. I know those nuances are there. But as of 2022, this like my people say, now we are speaking. There's a country called Nigeria. What are we going to do about it? The people are dying. What are we going to do about it? Responsibility of all Nigerians is the responsibility of all Nigerians, not the responsibility of UN, Ghana, China, Russia, Ukraine. Wonderful people, great. America, UK. Our own is our own. It's like Omono calling me now to say, my children, please come and take care of them for me, and I will run. I will see. Oh, I will not be able to give them what Omono can give them. God bless all the guardians and the mothers and the people who take children on them. But man, what it is like, you often find people who are adopted, they still want this. There's something they're still looking for. They still want, if they have the chance to meet their real parents, they try and seek it.
Yeah.
Why? When we detach ourselves from God, there is something that is still doing us. Like I'm empty. There's something I need to feel. When we are reconciled, wow. So why do we feel like Nigeria is not the same? We all live, our experiences go, we build other countries, we make them more structured, and then somehow women are not going, and men are not going to die in buses. People, wake up. It's coming closer to your domot. The situation in Ukraine, and I don't want to, because in that country, did you see how they treated Black people? Did you see it? Do you really think that if countries are fighting, they will put Nigerians first and evacuate them first? I hear people saying stuff like the Nigerian passport has not done anything for me. Wait till you are in crisis and you need a country to stay in. Then you will know that the value of your passport is very important. You will know that there's an ECOWAS that at least you can put your head in Togo, or put your head in Ghana, or put your head in Cameroon. My darlings, please, I want to beg everybody. I'm not saying go back to Nigeria. That's not what I'm telling you.
Right.
If you need to leave to save your life, to survive, to live another day, please. But in your deeds, actions, please, let us fight for our country. Let us build our country. So that me, as I'm here now, I want to retire in Nigeria. Know that weather is better for me. When I go to Nigeria, my skin is clear. I feel good. I'm eating good food. There's still communal relationship. People know each other. You know, there's still that level of, you know, like life. You're not selling your life for money. And I know it sounds odd, but when somebody is paying you per hour, you're selling your hour. In Nigeria, you can walk into somebody's office and your family can greet you. Please, we have been to other countries. Does it happen? It doesn't. You can't walk inside somebody's office and sit down there. I came to visit you in your office for when they are paying you per hour. You will not see your HR consultant come in and say, Nita, what's going on? You should be working. You have patients. What's going on? Oh, my family came to just say hello. Okay, well, they can stay in the reception when you're done with work, or during your break, you can go see them. But in Nigeria, at least there's still that small, oh, this is my daughter. Oh, this is my son. Oh, wow, nice. Oh, great. You can greet everybody. You go back to work. People can still come into your house. You eat food. You enjoy yourself. So please, I want to beg. I'm begging again. Please. I may not see Nigeria be better. Nigeria might not get better. Might not be the country I vision it to be in the next 30 years. But I want my name. When I was watching Honorable Ketanji, I said that you will sit down in rooms like this in Nigeria. You will, and we will build something that come future. I'll end with this. I didn't want to share, but let me share. I went for my grandmother in February. I posted it on my page. And what it taught me, grandfather was not like, the most wealthy, like come out and, the wealthy people of today. But I'll tell you something. If my grandfather was from Bayelsa, if you go back and you look at the history of Bayelsa, you cannot write Bayelsa without writing his name. And what that did for me, I won't go into too much detail, but what that did for me, it made me know my line, at least me, my own line, our nation builder. We may not see the country we are envisioning, but we will work at it and our blood will be written on the good side of the country.
Of course.
On the good side of that country. Praise God. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I dropped
so
the mic.
much.
Sorry,
Thank you so much. Yes, we'll probably revisit that on another live. I am so grateful, and I thank you for your time and attention. I don't take it at all for granted. The replay will be available. This will also be on YouTube. Please do also subscribe and share, because this is an important conversation that everybody should actually be part of. All right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ladies.
Anne. Good to see you again.
Good to see you both. Bye.
I don't know how to disconnect from this.
It's okay. I'm sure she'll
I'll
just
end the
end
video.
it.